Rub the sun or lick the moon. Scoop up your sunlight and moonlight teas. Link is down in the description. Bruh, it's either or. You decide. You know where we're at, man. Let's dive into it. The Mega Raichus. And these ones are a bit weird. Dude, these ones are really weird because they're. Let's get the elephant in the room. They're both pure electric. I know a lot of like non-competitive fans are gonna be like, well, what's the problem? Only weak to ground. Pure electric is just objectively a bad type. Like there's just no pure electric that has put up generational work. You're gonna mention Gen 8 Zero Aura. You look at the speed stat and tell me why he was putting in that work. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like this guy, both of these guys being pure electric is really unfortunate. RU is gonna love them, and he's I'm kind of hating, but dude, like I'm really disappointed in a sense of like, wow, man, like this one's not part fighting. Like that's a bit nuts, you know what I mean? I think it's a little crazy, like, because you look at Raichu and you look at the stats, 485, man, 485. Alolachu is the same. You know what I mean? But it really just got that typing, bro. You feel me? Also, they did make it 5 points hit harder, right? You got to really address that. You can't ignore that. You have to. So at minimum, they got to get 5 points, right? There's just no way. But no, they do 100 BST, so it's going to be 585, which is close to pseudo. But wow, man. Like it's just, we got real demons lately in the Generation 9, and I hope it's really changed you like it's changed all of us. We play competitive damn near every day, right? Like it's a whole different ballpark. You got guys that move crazy now, like Fluttermane and Great Tusk. When you even just look at guys like Fluttermane and Great Tusk, sorry, Sandshrew, it's really just insane, especially knowing that their BST is 570. 570. So, you might say it's a weird example because it's a legendary on the screen, but it doesn't matter because this is the current climate of the meta. And then in singles, we have kind of our own goat here in Great Tusk, and this guy is demonic. So 570 sitting at this. These guys are going to be at 585. So BST wise, they should be a little above the Paradox Pokemon, depending on some of them, right? So realistically, it shouldn't be that bad. But the problem is the pure electric. Great Tusk has stab ground and stab fighting, right? Fluttermane has stab ghost and stab fairy. So it's really just... the pure electric is really just unfortunate. When you have other electric types that perform very well, it's guys like Zapdos, who's been a generational, like, one of the best to ever do it as an electric type. Electric flying, immune to ground, right? Really bulky, which is fighting, static, pressure. It's phenomenal, right? Bulky, recovery, it's got a lot going on for itself. Like, it could not do what it's doing if it was pure electric. You got other Pokemon like Zekrom, who famously has been absolutely legendary in singles, bro. Dragon Electric, you know what I mean? You even have other electric types if you don't want me to like unfairly put them against legendaries, like Arctozolt. This thing is demonic. Why? Because it moves very fast with Slush Rush, and its signature move Bolt Peak does double damage if it moves first. So it has Bolt Beam, which Bolt Beam is Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. It's basically electric and ice stab coverage. It's unresisted and uncontested, that dual stab. It's probably one of the strongest like dual stabs ever made. It's very powerful. So guys like these go crazy, and this game's only 505, right? But it's really the move and the ability is what really sends it over the top. And then obviously, like I talked about earlier, being electric ice is very powerful. Having Bolt Beam, even when it's not stab somebody like Darkrai, is even crazy. So Raichu Y is the first one we're gonna look at, because it's already special, right? So they just openly out the gate state that this thing is going to unleash its power instantaneously, so it excels in short, decisive battles. So its greatest strength is its ability to do damage, versus the other one, its greatest strength is the Two Tails, and they really focus on it storing energy for both of them. But for this one, they mentioned it somewhere around here, and heightening its defensive capabilities. So it maintains a high electrical output and heighten its defensive capabilities. The other one, they talk about how it absorbs electricity, it generates, right? And it just makes it do more damage. Unleash powerful electric moves. So it just makes it do more damage. So my fear, and it looks like that fear came true, is that this one's gonna be the tankier one. This is gonna be the offensive one. Like one's the defensive, one's the offensive. But Raichu is famously been known for having awful defenses. I mean, 55 on the base Raichu, right? Alolashu is even lower at 50. Raichu has never really been the mon known to be physically tanky. On paper, you would think maybe even 10 years ago, okay, Raichu, 110's not bad, right? 90's okay. Like back then, 10 years ago, you'd be like, okay, hold on. Realistically, not even really that much of a case. We had Mega Evolutions over 10 years ago, and a lot of mons were getting power crept. That was kind of the start of that. Same with fairies. So something like this being at 585 really depends where they go with this. I mean, if they just pump it all into speed and that special attack, maybe we're getting somewhere, because Zero Aura was really just super fast. I mean, he also has a legendary signature move, and his move pool is just insane, right? Grass Knot, CC, knockoff, Plasma Fists, right? Like, bro is set up to in bulk up. I mean, this guy's got set up to a nasty plot. But the thing is it's really going to come down to, like I said again, like what this Raichu does and what they give it. To talk about the physical one, really quick, it needs a couple things. It needs close combat and bulk up. If it doesn't have that, it's kind of DOA. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because what do you mean it's workup? Oh, never mind. Doesn't even have workup anymore. I'm pretty sure in Nadex, it had this move, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, never did. I'm not real. So yeah, Raichu just doesn't really have these moves. So, I mean, he's got Volt Tackle, which is obviously really good. He's got Knockoff, which is obviously really good. You can do like some agility shenanigans. So if it is a real speed stat, which right now 110 is like leaning towards real, like if you're like above like 105, 110, you're really good. But if that's a benchmark, so 110 is like, okay, that's not awful. It could be better, but it's not awful, right? We can work with that. So it's really just gonna come down to what this goes for. Like I said, again, it's only fighting coverage on the physical side is cooked. It is upper hand, reversal, focus punch, and break. It's kind of DOA. So it really just needs some sort of coverage. And if it doesn't get that, then I don't know. Raichu Y on the other hand, though, it already has Surf. It already has Thunderbolt, right? Having these two moves is already very powerful. Maybe they're crazy and give it Ice Beam for whatever reason. I don't know. That would be nuts. They gave Ice Beam to Gardevoir and our Legends Arceus. So it sounds crazy, but I don't know. It's going through a little confusing. She's a Luring Voice and the Nasty Plot. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see this guy lose to Tangrowth. I'm like low-key hating, but I'm just like, it's Raichu, it's already not that great, and they're both pure electric. I want to be wrong, but I'm just not too sold, right? And this one is going for the more like tankier one, which means they're probably going to put like, they're probably going to do 100 defense, if not close to it, like 85, 100, which I'm just like, bro, that's a lot of points already, dude. Like, that's a lot of points already. That means that they're putting 45 in the physical defense, right? 45 in physical defense is crazy, right? Because then you're only left with 55 left because they only do 100 BST. So you split the 55, right? And you put, I don't know, like 27 in attack and 27 in speed. So, or maybe more. Maybe we do like 35. And, you know, we put 35 into the physical attack stat, right? So that actually becomes more real. Then we're sitting at 125. And then you put the rest in speed, right? So if this guy isn't faster and hits harder, basically very easy to do, it's gonna be rough. I think right now, just on paper, it sounds rough. Like I said, again, for the physical Raichu, he needs a lot more coverage. Because I look how crazy this would be if he did these moves and he had a speed stat of like 125 with like bulk up. You live just one singular hit because they will boost his physical defense. He will actually live one singular hit because right now it cannot live hits. It cannot. So it can live one hit, bulk up, and then maybe we do close combat / drain, CC or knockoff, and then Volt Tackle, right? So even Volt Tackle is a huge recoil of 33%. So it's not going to be on the stage for a long time. But the biggest thing about it, though, is it's kind of just meant to sweep. So if it can't do that, then I don't know, guys. That's Raichu. I don't know. Looking at the other guys, though, we'll start off with the starters, right? So we got Chesnaught, which Chesnaught, right? They make it a really big deal as well too, that it's his bolsters in its defense. The outer shell greatly bolsters its defense. So Chesnaught's defense is already pretty high. I think it's like 125 question mark, 122, close. So it's at about 122. So if it gets higher than this, I would imagine like 150, right? That's ish, like maybe 30 points, but it's still left with 70. So it's not bad to put like 30 points into the defense, right? Then we're sitting at about 152, right? And then we just put the rest in speed and attack. That'd be very nice, right? Yes, if you're wondering, speed is king. Speed is the greatest stat that a mon could have. It is king. But the thing is, though, Chesnaught does have the bulk to actually live these moves and kind of like revenge or retaliate back. Chesnaught actually is doing very well in the RU tier. He's doing very well in this tier. So I think Chesnaught has gotten some really cool moves. I mean, he got body press, which is huge, right? Bro has Trailblaze. So Trailblaze at 64 speed could be better. But even if he gets to like 85 plus with Trailblaze, after one Trailblaze, you're outspeeding a base 100 speed Pokemon. So it's really not that bad. When you do Trailblaze with even current now, with this Chesnaught build, you're sitting at about 373, which you're outspeeding 350 plus speed Pokemon, which is pretty fast. It's pretty fast, right? So a good example, somebody like Chiyu. Yes, Chiyu, little friend. How are you doing? He is getting outsped after one Trailblaze, right? Which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool because he had 100, right? It's pretty cool. So if they make it slower because of the bigger shells, that'd be a little unfortunate because it does look like the shell got a lot larger than what it is now. Right? Like if you look at it, it literally looks larger. It overcompasses his entire body. They even mention how he could turn it into a battle axe. Like he takes off one of the shields and turns it to a battle axe, but he needs to hold it with both hands in order to like not drop it, which is pretty cool. That's going to be interesting to see where they kind of go with that. But yeah, they make a really big deal that in a dramatic increase in its defense capabilities, a dramatic increase, which is pretty large. So I think even 30 points might be too minimum. We'll see. But when you look at previous histories of dramatic increases, we had Aggron, who also had like a really high physical defense of 180. When he got a mega, it shot up to 230, right? Which is a lot. That's about 50 points into the physical defense. Another great example is Steelix, who did get a really high increase in his defense. He went from 200 to 230. So a lot smaller. So that's why I'm kind of just like, okay, at least minimum, I want to imagine like 30, or they do like 20 and his defense also boosts it. I'm sorry, his ability also boosted, which I imagine the ability from how they describe it here, the fur on its body has also grown. It can act as an impact absorbing cloak. You know what that reminds me of, boys? Fur coat. That reminds me of fur coat right here, which is, it reduces physical damage attacks by 50%. So that's pretty big. And only 2 mons have it, so it's really not that well distributed. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big. I could see fur coat on this guy for sure. Maybe like a smaller increase plus fur coat. If they do a big increase plus fur coat, we're going max FNF every day of the week. But realistically though, yeah, I think a big boost in SpDef would be pretty cool because Aggron went from what, like 80, or I'm sorry, he went from 60 to 80, which is about 20 points. Right? And then Steelix went from like what, 65 to 95, a lot larger there to 30 points. So I'm kind of hoping for the Chesnaught line, which is already not bad. 88 HP is actually really doing a lot of carrying. The 75 is a little low, could be better. So if we make it like 100, boys, if they do like 30 into this, and we're sitting at 105, and they do like 20 or 30 into this, right? That's about 60 points left, right? I'm sorry, that's 60 points. We have 40 points left. We could put 20 into speed and 20 into attack. So we gotta have 84 speed, which is actually not that bad for the encompassing other stats. And then something like 127, 130 would actually be pretty good. The stat line I like to look at this guy is definitely Okie Dokie. Okie Dokie, right? He has actually, like, you kind of have to look at it in contrast, right? For the bulk, this guy has 88 HP, 86 SpDef, which is okay. With 115 defense is really good. 128 attack, right? He kind of can move with this tankiness. Like, he's like, for the bulk, he's not slow at all. For an offensive guy, like purely offensive, it's pretty slow. But for a tank, it's kind of fast, right? So that's kind of how I really want Chesnaught to be, kind of like a faster tank. Like for a tank, 85 plus would be pretty good, but they're probably not going to go above 85, but that's my thoughts on Chesnaught. Okay, I already noticed this video is kind of long, so I don't make it too long. We'll get to the other ones, which is a little easier because Chesnaught and the Raichus I really want to be better. And they have more room to grow, but also like they could just be like, they could be like not that good. I am kind of going in order, by the way. If you noticed that, I am. Delphox, I do think is the next best one here. Mega Delphox uses psychic powers to confuse opponents, making for a tricky fighting style that allows it to unearly deal damage. The confused part is pretty big. I've not seen many talk about this, but there's another guy that also does that. Can we remember him, guys? Yeah, that's right. Our goat Pecharon. Our goat Pecharon does that. His ability poison puppeteer. Anytime somebody's poisoned, they will also be confused. Malignant Chain. Signature move, high chance to poison. Brother is a poison type. Poison types never miss the move Toxic. Can guarantee poison, right? So if they try to go Delphox in that route, that would be insane. I've seen other people say that it's going to be like Levitate because it floats, right? It says psychic abilities have been enhanced. Mega Delphox controls 2 branches that float by its side. It moves these branches as if they were brought to life by its magic. Leaving onlooking opponents bewildered. It also floats atop a large lit branch, dazzling its foes even further. So, yeah, they make a big deal that it floats, and like even in the description, like obviously you can use your 2 eyeballs and see that it's floating now, right? But you know, and it's floating kind of reminds me a lot of like Latios and Latias, in the sense that these guys are also floating, because they're like planes. So these guys are like also floating and they have levitate. So it floatness really reminds me like of that, right? It really reminds me of that. So Delphox did receive some major buffs. It got Nasty Plot, right? It has Nasty Plot now, which is huge. It has Stored Power now, which is huge. It has Expanding Force, which is now huge, dude. It has Focus Blast, which is now huge. So Delphox got some huge buffs in Scarlet and Violet. So probably the largest buffs out of all of them. Greninja, on the other hand, we'll get into later, got major nerfs. But Delphox did get some major buffs. The guy got like all these moves now, and he's getting 100 BST. Starters tend to be on the higher end, so 534, it's actually like workable, right? 104 defense back then was not that bad because you naturally outspec base 100 Pokemon. You could free roam some item slots like Life Orb and Specs. But now it's not real. 104 is not real. 114, we're kind of leaning towards a better special attack stat, but when you have guys sitting at 130 plus, it could be a little better, right? Actually has some pretty good Spin F book as well too at 100, which is really not that bad. So you kind of love to see it. All the other stats above are really bad. Its physical defense is not that good. Its HP stat is like okay. Physical stack stat, we don't care about. Delphox has some room to grow. It will sit at 634. And the way they mention it, they mentioned this guy has Levitate. So it really goes 2 ways. Either Levitate, which would be absolutely insane. Levitate just sounds ridiculous for this mon because Delphox already resists some really cool typings. Like it resists Fairy, it resists Steel, and resists Fighting. Really important types that it resists, right? Agrasis is always really cool as well too, but resisting Steel, Fairy, and Fighting are huge common meta typings. That's a major thing that it resists. So if they just remove the ground immunities as well too, and you're straight immune to that, Delphox is gonna be nuts, right? Delphox is gonna be nuts. So realistically, it's kind of an easy route. Like I said, again, I know I'm gonna be a broken record here, but they just need to make it faster. If Delphox sits at about 120 speed, like they give it like 20 points in speed, literally 20 points in speed, that would be insane. Because a guy like Meowscarada is like, what, 123? Yes. So that means that this guy will be 124. And it's funny because Greninja is 122. So there's 122, 123, and 124 potentially if they also give Delphox 20 points in a special attack, or a speed stat, sorry. So Delphox is actually the easiest to make successful because it already got major buffs in all 4 of these moves, right? Its coverage is already crazy. It gets Calm Mind, Gleam, Encore, Agility, right? Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Flame Charge. If you want to go Flame Charge, 3 attacks for the speed, right? Future Sight, Heat Wave, Grass Knot, like the list goes on, bro. Delphox, Psychic Noise, Psy Shock, Scorching Sand, Shadow Ball. Like Delphox already gets some great moves. Even Will-O-Wisp and Trick have actually gone on record to be very good moves for her as well too. She's one of the few mons that does have Switcheroo. So Not to mention she has her signature move, still Mystical Fire, right? Like there's some quirky moves you could use like Blast Burn and Burning Jealousy, right? But you know, Solar Beam as well too in the sun. You know, Delphox has range. Delphox has a lot of range. There's a lot that Delphox can do. I think they just need to make it hit harder, make it go faster. They probably do increase the SPDF, but I'll be honest, if they can increase the defense by even 10 points, even just 10 points at 82, we're getting somewhere. You will live so much more hits if you are just even at minimum 82 to 72. That 10 point is night and day. So yeah, realistically, just dump it all into these 4 stats. Kind of ignore this. We could even pull from physical attack stat and put it more into special attack stat. Realistically, it probably hits like what, 135, 145, I would imagine. Yes, I think that's a lot, but I think that's what it's going to be. Some of these guys hit like 170. Mega Alakazam just goes absolutely so hard at 175, but to be fair, regular Alakazam is already pretty high at 135. So it's really going to come down to what they want to do with Delphox. I mean, Delphox is at 114. I don't think it's crazy to put like 30 or 40 into that, bro. You put 40 into that, bro. We're sitting at 154. That's all you need. Then we're left with 60, right? Put 20 into the speed. Then we're at 124. Then we're left with 20 points. So we could do like 10 and 10, 110 and 82 and be good. That's actually a good spread. That's a good spread. It's a good spread because they have to hold an item. So it sounds busted on paper, but it's still, you know, it can still miss its moves. That's really its biggest fault here. It can miss Fire Blast, it can miss Heat Wave, you know, so yeah. But in Psychic Terrain though, this guy's gonna be demonic. I know I said that I go through these kind of quick, but I really like talking about this, right? I guess the last thing I'll say is if Delphox does get some Fire Poison Puppeteer thing, where every time it burns you, it gets a new Sig move or something like that, that sounds fan game copium. That sounds crazy. If that happens, that's nuts. That's actually gonna be crazy. I think Delphox will be really annoying if that happens. And the last one we're gonna talk about is Greninja. Kind of set for last. I did kind of order these. I do think Greninja is realistically, at least in singles, definitely gonna be the best of the 5, I should say. It's like not even close. It really isn't. I think Delphox is gonna be much better than Greninja in doubles. But in singles, I think it's definitely gonna be Team Greninja. This guy is crazy. I mean, Greninja right now is already crazy, bro. They had to turbo nerf him, and he still was in OU in the beginning of the meta. He's in UU right now. He's a top UU mon. He's a demon in draft. He's very good in almost everywhere you look in singles, even with heavy nerfs. Protean nerf, right? Boom. We have Ash Greninja being completely gone. Boom. When you got a guy like Greninja with stats like these at 122, it's pretty crazy. But when you really sit down and look at it, Greninja is kind of like carry out the fact that he has a lot of high base power moves that he can click with Protean, right? Like, because when you look at it, 103 and 95 has been severely crept. He's kind of a clean guy. There was a Greninja build back when Protean was broken, so he could just wall break everything. But he's kind of a clean guy now. I mean, 103 and 95, pretty subpar offensive stats. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really that he just has the option to move this fast with it, and then you can also increase them with Battle Bond, or increase them with Protean, or increase them with Terra. So he has a lot of things kind of going in his favor. But I think 103 and 95 has been severely crept. I mean, there's guys like these that have stats like these for something minor. When Greninja's offenses are 103 and 95, it's rough. But like I said, again, he has high base power moves. He has Hydro Pump at 110, right? He's got Gunk Shot at 120. You know what I'm saying? So he's got high base power moves. So realistically, Greninja, I think needs... I think this guy's gonna be a Mach 5, bro. I think this guy's gonna have like 150, 145 speed. I think it's gonna be absolutely dastardly. A good example is I think Greninja will probably have a speed stat kind of around the range of Pult. I can see like even above this, like 145, 150. Because Greninja's kind of always been about speed, but the way that they describe this, he's no longer being stealthy. He forgoes stealth to make full use of its sharpened reflexes. So the speed kind of comes with the ninja. You go fast, shing, shing, you know what I'm saying? But now he's like, bro, I don't care, bro. I don't care if y'all see me. I don't care if you know that I'm here, bro. I'm moving fast. Because normally Greninja would appear in a flash and disappear like a ninja. Now that it is mega evolved, it no longer bothers to hide itself. demonstrating the opponent is confident that it will win. I've seen some people say that its speed stat might even not get that big of an increase because Greninja is no longer the stealthy, go fast guy, but they also say he's making use of his sharpened reflexes. So I think a lot of that is just assumption, right? You can go with your own interpretation. Realistically though, they do increase it by 100. It's going to be 630, which is going to be pretty big. And a big part of Greninja's identity is the speed. So I would imagine they're going to increase it. Famously, when you've seen other mons like this, Alakazam is also pretty fast at 120. They made Mega Alakazam at 150. That's pretty dumb, right? You look at Aerodactyl, another Pokemon who's been commonly well known for his speed at 130, right? 105. 103, it's pretty similar to their highest offensive stat. Then you have Mega Aerodactyl, who is at like 150 plus. This guy's at 150. So a lot of these guys go fast, right? A lot of these guys go fast. I kind of imagine Greninja in a similar sense to Mega Aerodactyl. Like I could see that. I'll actually pull it up here in a better way to look at it. I think Greninja kind of goes the Mega Aerodactyl route where he hits harder for sure, right? 135, 150, like it gets a lot faster. But he has 2 offensive stats. So they could do like, they could be dumb and do like, oh, I don't know, like really high offensive stats. They could do like 130, 140, and then like whatever. We could do the math on that, right? So let's say they add like 25 points to his speed stat, right? He's sitting about 147, which is pretty fast, right? So by 25, we only have 75 points left, right? So then 75 points left. Okay, let's say they put like 40 points into the special attack size at 143, right? So now we're not sitting left with much left. Now our stats are kind of cooked. We only have about 25 left. So they could just put 25 into this and be at 115 and then be absolutely chilling. So I think that would be absolutely insane. A good example of this as well too for that offense is our Pride, True, and Joy Mega Absol, who has 150 special attack stat and 150 physical attack stat. The only bad part about Absol, and I will make a video about it later on, is that all of his God tier coverage is on the special side. It is like Fire Blast, Blizzard, Thunderbolt. It's all special. It's tragic. He only has knockoff and superpower. And sucker. It's tough. It's tough, bro. It's tough. So Greninja probably goes down on that right. I'm not too worried about Greninja. Now, what ability does Greninja get? I don't know. If it gets Battle Bond still, his chances of killing are a lot higher. So Battle Bond would be a little scary. I doubt he keeps Protean. I would be shocked if he keeps Protean. I would be shocked. And he also uses Mucus to sit up there. So I'm like, what? That's foul. So, yeah, they say gel-like membrane, but on the Japanese website, they actually specify mucus. And it says opponents caught off guard by its surprising appearance are then wrapped up in its long tongue and prevented from attacking. So I've seen some people say that it might be like a trapping move. I don't want to dig too deep into that. Plus, Greninja is going to be frail as hell. He traps you, you just whoop his ass. Like, you know what I mean? And then he's gone. So I don't really think Greninja would benefit too much off a trapping move. I mean, probably more in doubles, but I doubt it'll be too insane in 1v1. But yeah, I imagine faster, harder hitting, more mixed versatility, right? His move coverage is already absolutely demonic. Look at his move coverage. He's got Dark Pulse, Ectosensory, Facade, Grass Knot, Gunk, Pump, Beam, Ice Punch, Liquidation, Low Kick, Night Slash. Bro's got it all. Bro's got every priority you could think of. Bro's got Sneak. Bro's got Water Shuriken. Like, it's actually just crazy, bro. He's got U-Turn, he's got Trailblaze, he's got Hazards, he's got Offensive Taunt, he's got Setup, he's got it all. Greninja is actually one of the it childs. He's got it all. So I'm not really too worried about Greninja being good. He probably will be good. They could give him close combat and scare us all. Especially now that he's not hiding and he's going to be out more. Usually Greninja's moves, if you look at it, are very like stealthy, like acrobatics, right? Like all of that. Like now it's like, nah, F that. I'm boxing. So that could be a little scary if they give Greninja close combat because they do also give them moves. So we'll see. Guys, let me know what you think down below. Let me know who you think is going to be the best Mega. I think it's no question Greninja. I mean, he's already the best out of all the mons we named. I think in doubles though, Delphox has a real chance to actually be better, because of the doubles move pool, they're expanding forward, Psychic Terrain, and Heat Wave. And if it does have Levitate, I think it'll be really good. And look at the current meta Pokemon, like the Shifus, if it's faster than them, right? But then they could just Choice Scarf, right? Because Shifu's, whoa! But then Expanding Force, Second Terrain, Heat Wave in the sun. Like, I think Delphox has some really good merit. I think it's a major, major buff. Delphox boys, eating good. Let me know what y'all think down below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all